And welcome to the hot seat of college football show. As today, I'm going to be giving you my perfect conference realignment to fix and save college football. Let's talk about it. As always, before we get into this video, you all know the deal. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. We got to 200 a couple weeks ago, a month ago-ish, and we're trying to get to 500 before the beginning of next season. So if you want to help us get there, and if you enjoyed today's show, honestly, please hit the subscribe button. It means the world to me. And also, please hit the like button. Videos that get more likes, I'm being so serious. Like my videos that get 8 to 10 plus likes get 200 plus, maybe sometimes even 500,000 views, compared to the ones that get like 3 to 4 or 5 likes that maybe get like 50, maybe even 100 on a good day. So if you really want to help triple the size of my videos, if you really enjoyed today's show, please hit the like button. It would mean the absolute world to me. And then if you really enjoyed today's show, you can also turn on the notification bell so you guys will get a notification every single time I release a new video. But I don't want to go on too long. We're finally kind of, getting back in the rhythm of uploading. Third quarter just ended for school. Been practicing outside with my little brother. I'll put up a video. I'll put up the video now. Here, this is me throwing to him as he has. Ignore my terrible throwing form. There we go. See? It's hard throwing to a 6-year-old who's like 2.5, 3 feet tall. I've had to kind of rework how I throw the ball, but he's hitting these deep shots, and he's got the playoffs tomorrow at 11:40. I'll update you when we upload tomorrow. I think I want to release it tonight instead of tomorrow morning, but we'll see when I can get this video done, edited, and uploaded. But I want to talk about my perfect conference realignment for college football, and how this is going to work is I have done 6 conferences, and the reason why I've done 6 is for the 12-team playoff. We're going to have 6 auto bids. Half the playoff is going to be your conference championship winners, and don't worry, the conferences are all even, so you're not going to have like a Sun Belt level champion go to the playoffs, and then the other 6 are going to be auto bids. So I did the Big Ten, the SEC, the ACC, the Big 12. I brought back the Pac-12, and I also brought back the Southwest Conference. The first conference that I wanted to bring back that I didn't was the Big East. They were the first team off, and the Big East kind of like they dissolved, back to the Big Ten and the ACC. So, yeah, without further ado, here is my Big Ten realignment of how I would want to do it. None of the conferences have less than 10 teams, and none of the conferences have more than 16. My webcam's actually blocking it, but I have the logos down here. So yeah, let me make sure I have my thing up. Okay. So the Big Ten, how do I want to say this? The thing that I prioritized was making sure everybody had a rival or rivalry. For the most part, I couldn't get everybody. Actually, Iowa lost their rivalry with Nebraska, and I'll explain that in a minute. For the most part, all the teams have to be connected to another team in the conference, and it has to make geological sense, and then have an even amount of teams. So for the Big Ten, I have Ohio State, Michigan, Michigan State, Penn State, Pitt, Indiana, Notre Dame. I brought Notre Dame in, Illinois, Northwestern, Wisconsin, Minnesota, and Iowa. So that's what I think 12 teams, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And again, for like the Big Ten, even though we got rid of the West Coast teams and a couple of the other teams, the Big Ten is still very good. So, and you don't want to have this thing now where the Big Ten is so good, but it's so big that like Ohio State's playing everybody, but someone like Indiana, or not even Indiana, Penn State this year doesn't play anybody. They play USC, Wisconsin, and Michigan. That's it. They don't play anybody else on their schedule who's supposed to be good. And hopefully this can avoid it, because obviously, look how many top dogs are in this. You have Ohio State, Michigan, Indiana, Notre Dame, and Penn State. You have 5 playoff contenders every year now. That maybe Penn State's still recovering, but they're gonna get back up there. Plus, a Pitt popping up, an Iowa popping up, an Illinois popping up in 5, 6, 7, 8. You have 8 teams that at some point in the next 5 to 10 years, probably more like 5 years, they're going to be playoff, maybe not contenders, but playoff, I'm trying to think, like playoff, they're in the playoff field. They're in the hunt for the playoff. And so no matter who you are not going to be able to avoid anybody in the conference. You are going to play 2 to 3 big dogs every year, which is really going to thin out, like, you're not going to have a fraudulent Penn State team like go 10-2 this year. No, if they're not good, they're going 7-5. They're going 8-4. So that's all I love about it. I wanted to have everyone have a rival. Minnesota has Wisconsin, Illinois has Northwestern, Indiana. Look, Indiana, if you're going to be a top dog, you can't play Purdue as a rivalry. You can't. You're playing Notre Dame now. Notre Dame's your rival. You play in the playoff. It was a great whatever game. Ohio State has Michigan. Michigan has Ohio State. Michigan also has Michigan State. Michigan also has Notre Dame. Ohio State also has Penn State, and Penn State has Pitt. The only team in here that doesn't have like a huge rivalry is Iowa, because obviously Iowa State's out of conference and Nebraska is gone. Also, again, people that are not going to like that, people that are not going to like that I don't have Nebraska in. Nebraska is not not only are they not an OG Big Ten team, they're not even like an original like Big Ten team. They just got, and they weren't even here in the 90s. Penn State wasn't either, but Penn State's been good enough where I can keep them. Nebraska has been so pathetic. They're going back to, I think I had them back in the Big 12. I brought in Notre Dame, which, like, Notre Dame, I'm not doing this thing where Notre Dame's not in a conference. Notre Dame, you're joining a conference, you're joining the Big Ten. You're not joining the ACC. I mean, I guess they could, but I don't know. I just get Purdue out of the Big Ten. And then Pitt, Penn State, the funny thing about Penn State is their motto is they have the we are, but it's unrivaled. And what they try to do is have a double meaning where we're unrivaled in the literal sense is we don't have a rivalry. Even though it's Ohio State and maybe even Michigan, they don't have a rivalry in the Big Ten. But they also say it as we're unrivaled, like no one can beat us. Look at us, we're unrivaled. And then they get beat every single time by every single good team they played. They went 7-6 last year in their natty year. So I think it's funny. We're no more unrivaled. No more unrivaled. Your official rival is going to be Pitt. It's in state. Also, Pitt, yes, they're ACC. Their fans are Big Ten territory because they're Steelers fans. They play at Acrisure. Pitt fans are Pittsburgh Steelers fans, and a lot of Ohio State fans are Pittsburgh Steelers fans. So it's like the area of Pittsburgh is very Big Ten, even though they're in the ACC. So I brought them in. We kicked out Purdue, whatever. I get their OG, but they're so bad. Kicked out Nebraska, they're not OG. Kicked out all the West Coast teams, they don't belong. Rutgers wasn't OG, they're Big East, kicked them out. Maryland was Big East, kicked them out. So was Penn State, but I want to keep them. And then I think I kicked out Rutgers, Maryland, Purdue, Nebraska. I think there was one more else. Maybe that was it. But again, I mean, look how pretty this looks for the Big Ten. Everyone is connected. It's very, I mean, aside from maybe Penn State and Pitt, everybody, this is the Midwest. And then, you go out a little bit more. You have Penn State, then you have Pitt. But I love how I did the Big Ten. Let's just start off with heavy hitters. We'll go straight to the SEC. This is you can kind of see the SEC logo popping above the webcam. This is my SEC map. Again, look how pretty the SEC looks and how this is aside from Florida, this is 100% the deep South plus Florida. I mean, Florida's more Southern than all of them, but Florida's been an OG guy in the conference, so. So how many? I think I have 10 teams, 12 teams. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I mean, for the most part, everyone has a rival. Obviously, every team in the SEC has like 1,000 rivalries, but everyone, for the most part, has their main rival. Bama has Auburn. Ole Miss has Mississippi State. Tennessee has Vanderbilt. Georgia has Auburn and Florida. And LSU has Arkansas. And then South Carolina, their main rival is Clemson, who was already before out of conference. So I get they don't have their main rival here, but their main rival was out of conference before, so it doesn't really matter to me. And then I brought back Tulane. And if you don't know history about SEC, Tulane was an OG SEC member. I brought them back just because I wanted to kick out Texas, Oklahoma. That's fine. They came in a pair. Kick them out, we're fine. And then I also wanted to kick out Kentucky. Why is Kentucky an SEC team? I have no idea. Kick out Missouri. Missouri is closer to the Big Ten than it is the SEC, so I kicked them out. And then, who else did I kicked out one more. So yeah, you had 16, 15, 14, 13, 12. It was A&M. That's what I was thinking of. I also kicked out Texas A&M. I was wondering, I'm like, I kicked out Texas, Oklahoma as a pair, and I kicked out Kentucky and Missouri as a pair. So how is Tulane here? We have even. It's because I forgot. I kicked out A&M. So yeah, A&M. No more teams in Texas. That is not the South. That's not the Southeast. That is the Southwest. We'll get to the Southwest in a minute. But yeah, this is. I mean, again, everyone has a rivalry except for South Carolina. They're kind of out. And Tulane, who we just brought them back. You could say Tulane. Maybe their back rivalry is with LSU. But yeah, that's my SEC. Again, very pretty. It's very compartmentalized. It's very all in. I want, even though maybe the Big Ten has more than 10 teams, for the SEC, I'm gonna make sure that all the teams are in the SE, the Southeast. So that's my SEC. Who do we want to do next? Let's finish out the Power Four. This is my ACC. The ACC is my biggest team. They have, I think, either 16 or 18. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16. So obviously, for the most part, the most of the ACC is here. Did I even kick out a team from the ACC? I think I have I don't think I kicked out a single, I guess Pitt. Pitt was the only one that was in the ACC before that I added. But Kentucky, we added from the SEC to the ACC. We added Rutgers, Maryland, to the and Purdue to the ACC. Obviously, again, everyone, I mean, for the most part, has their rivalries. Miami and Florida State are still rivals. Obviously, you have the 4 teams in North Carolina that are all rivals. Virginia Tech, Kentucky, and Louisville. Now that's what before was an out-of-conference rivalry is now an in-conference rivalry. And you could say Rutgers and Syracuse are rivals. Maryland and Purdue become rivals. And I think that covers all the teams in the ACC. Again, one of the more weaker conferences, I guess Miami is really carrying. But again, the ACC was weak before. I guess it did kind of hurt. You kicked out Pitt. Pitt was good last year. And then now Notre Dame has no ties with the ACC. So, yeah, and again, this one's a little bit sporadic. It covers one thing. It covers only the Atlantic coast, not any of the teams on the Pacific coast. And then, I mean, I could say Kentucky, that's a little bit farther out, but Louisville is in the ACC, that's Kentucky. So I guess Purdue is probably the most why is Purdue? They're Midwest, but they're not on the East Coast. But Purdue had to go somewhere. They've been Power 4 for so long, and they've beat their fair share of big teams. So I only felt it was fair to keep them in the Power 6 now, the Power 6. So I got Purdue in there. That's a little bit of a stretch, but it's still, at least it's connecting to Kentucky and the states. Nothing's it's not like the conference is here and we have a little bubble of a couple teams out here. So that's my ACC. It's Miami, Florida State, Georgia Tech, Clemson, Wake Forest, Duke, North Carolina, NC State, Virginia Tech, Louisville, Kentucky, Purdue, Maryland, Rutgers, and Syracuse. That is the biggest conference that I have. Also, it has the most crappy teams, so you have to kind of compensate with more teams. Who else? Okay, so I did just say everything is supposed to be pretty and compartmentalized. I was completely true except for one conference. Everything else is connected except for one. It's the Big 12. The Big 12 is sporadic, but I did not add any of the, so the 3 bubble teams, Cincinnati, West Virginia, and UCF. Yes, those teams are not connected, but those teams were not connected before. So it's not like it's not like UCF wasn't in the Big 12 before, and then I just like added UCF. You know what I mean? And honestly, what I could have actually, thinking back to it, I could have added Purdue to the Big 12 and then added USF. I should have done that. I should have not, because, okay, there was only one team. I elevated some teams from the group of 5. There was only, I should have done that. There was only one team that was in the Power 4 before that got completely erased. Only one, it was Boston College. I should have kept Boston College in the ACC. I should have kicked Purdue out of the ACC, brought them to here, and then brought USF. If I could go back and change this graphic, I would have done that. I would have kept Boston College in the ACC, moved Purdue to the Big 12, because at least it kind of connects with Cincinnati, and then added South Florida with Central Florida. So that's what if I could go back, that's how I would change it. But with how I have it right now, I got Arizona State, that's a rivalry. Kansas State, that's a rivalry. Nebraska, Colorado, that's a rivalry. And then you kind of have the 4 with UCF, Iowa State, Cincinnati, and West Virginia. UCF doesn't really have a rivalry. I guess maybe South Florida, but they don't really play that often. West Virginia, their rivalry with Pitt, I guess was also an out-of-conference rivalry because the backyard brawl was ACC Big 12. Out-of-state rivalry, Iowa State's rival is Kansas State plus Iowa. So you have one in conference, one out of conference. And then Cincinnati is so new to the Power 4, same with UCF, that they don't even have a rivalry. So, maybe UCF and Cincinnati, maybe those are, they become a rivalry. So, yeah, that's Big 12. Yep. I will say, I was thinking about putting Oklahoma in the Big 12 so they could play with Oklahoma State, but I didn't. And the reason why I didn't do that is because I brought back the Southwest, and actually I can that's the South. If you've never seen it before, that's Southwest logo, and this is a specifically Texas conference plus Oklahoma because Red River. So this is the smallest conference. There's only 10 teams, which is maybe all conferences should only be 10 teams. But I'll go through all of them. So obviously Texas and Oklahoma being in here, their main rivals. I know Josh Pate actually had Texas and Oklahoma out of conference. I want to keep them in the same conference. Texas Tech, obviously, TCU, Baylor, Houston, all Big 12 teams. I want to have a specific Texas conference. And, maybe it's a little bit of an unfair advantage because no one has to leave the state of Texas. It's kind of like what Miami did last year. They didn't leave the state of Florida till like September. So maybe that's a little bit unfair, but also college football is not fair. It's never been fair. It never will be fair. Stop complaining that it's not fair. But for the most, aside from the Big 12, for the most part, also Texas is really big. That's another thing. Texas, even though it's one state plus Oklahoma, it's a really big state. But none of these other teams are really like going that far. I tried to make the conferences specific to regions. And then you have North Texas, who I bumped up. From the, are they not the Sun Belt? Are they in they're in the American? It's either Conference USA or I think it's the American. I brought SMU from the ACC. Why in the ACC? I have no idea. Brought them to here, and then brought A&M from the SEC to here. And then the only one that's like what is UTSA? And you're probably asking me, Trent, why is UTSA here? And I'll tell you why. It's because San Antonio is a very underrepresented city, and I felt like if they get a real shot at investing in a Power 6 team, that UTSA could actually become a good program. Also, Ohio State just got Devin McCullough, the transfer from there, who's pretty good. But yeah, San Antonio, it's a very underrepresented market. It's a very unique city. The culture there is very different from not only the rest of Texas, but the rest of America because of how close it is to Mexico. It's a very Mexican-inspired town, which I think is cool. And I'm not saying that I want American culture to be Mexican. I don't. But I do think San Antonio is a very cool small pocket of America that I think has gone under even notice. So which I actually think could be really cool. And also it balances from having 9 teams to 10 teams. So, and I didn't want it to be 8. I want everyone to play 9 conference games. And if I kicked out the 2 group of 5 teams, which are North Texas and San Antonio, you can only play 7 conference games. So having 10, everyone can play 9, which actually means that everybody will play every single team in the conference, which solves tiebreakers, which I hate the tiebreakers. Oh, I messed up my mic. So, yeah, that is my Southwest. And it's cool because it's all Texas. It's all Texas plus Oklahoma. But I thought that was really cool. And then the last one, the Pac-12, man, look how pretty the Pac-12 is. Literally everything is connected. It's 12 teams and everyone has a rival. This might be the best conference in the sport. Everybody has a main rival that's in conference. It's all connected. It's all West Coast. And it's the Pac-12. It's 12 teams. So starting off with Washington. Washington has Washington State. And obviously I know Oregon. Washington's kind of a rivalry. But Washington State, the Apple Cup, Oregon State, the Civil War, that's a rivalry. Stanford, Cal's a rivalry. USC, UCLA is a rivalry. Utah, BYU is a rivalry. And then Boise State and UNLV. Maybe it's not a traditional rivalry, but they have been the two contenders in the Mountain West the past 5 years. They play 2 or 3 times, or I think like 2 times every single year. So yeah, that's become a rivalry. The one team, the couple teams that were here before that got left out, Colorado, again, they're rivals with Nebraska. I'm going to put you in a conference with Nebraska. And then the big two were Arizona and Arizona State. Part of this because they're not, one thing, they're in the Big 12 currently, and they're not technically like West Coast. Neither is Utah and BYU and Boise State. But I think the state of Arizona, I wanted to keep them in the Big 12, especially because Arizona State just won the Big 12. So I'll keep you in the Big 12. And I want also the Pac-12. It should be 12 teams. Boise State, UNLV are going to be the new teams in the new Pac-12. You don't know there's a new Pac-12. They're bringing it. It'll still be a Group of 5 conference, but they're bringing it back. But yeah, those are my conferences. I'll go over all of them again quickly so you guys can just look at them. Here is my Pac-12. Here, you can pause the video. Here is my Southwest. Here is my ACC. Here is my Big 12. This is the most sporadic conference. And what I would have done, I would have put South Florida in and put Purdue. And then I would have brought Boston College back to the ACC. But I can't go back and change it. Here is my SEC. And then for the last one, my Big 10. This is my Big 10. So that is how I would personally do conference realignment. I hope you guys all enjoyed today's video. Make sure if you enjoyed today's show, please hit the like button and please hit the subscribe button. We're trying to get to 500 subs. We're currently, I think, 216. So if you want to help us get to 220 before, let's say, the end, before next week, please hit the subscribe button. And then if you have any ideas, it's the off season. We got a lot of days, a lot of non-football. Let me know if you guys want to personally see talk about specific teams, specific topics, specific futures. Just let me know and I will look into it. I'll respond. One thing, I will try to respond to every single comment. But again, that's all I have for you guys today. Please stay safe. I'll see you guys all tomorrow. And as always,